events that were very vital. And the fact that it was also mentioned towards the end of that chapter I read there is also very, very important, okay? Because Ojukwu was in Kano. Banjo was in Kaduna with them. But somehow, Ojukwu and Banjo, who are very close to Ironsi, when Ironsi finally got Nzogu and all of these revolutionaries locked up, right? Nzogu moved Ojukwu from there to Kaduna, from Kano to the east. Now, that's the Ojukwu that was like neither here nor there when the revolution was taking place. He ended up being the leader of the millions of Igbos who came under the attack of his friend, Gowon. Who knew they were all the same? They were all friends. You don't see Gowon, Ojukwu, Banjo, and all these guys. They were actually friends. But months later, they turned to enemies and they were shooting at themselves. After they finished shooting Zeoku. Who would have thought of that? How many of us who even remember that the event went that way?
It's because you know that it's possible that the Nigerian government may have contacted them separately. Yeah, it's possible. I'm telling you, okay, my goodness, take for instance, now look at this Asai Dokubo. Look at him. In last 3 years, he said he's not Igbo, but recently he said he's Igbo.
I know.
Asai Dokubo. Last 3 years now, he came, he betrayed Nnamdi Kanu, and just now because army attacked people.
Igbos.
Yeah. From Anambra, so all these things, they are saboteur. Nigerian government will never teach us history. They will never, because they know that they have done more evil in history. They will never teach us. That's why this program, this particular topic now, I will follow it up to the end, because most of us, I know about Kaduna Nzogu. I know about him from YouTube. YouTube have this history, just very few of his history.
I think almost all of them does. And a lot of people have actually done.
But this topic you're bringing up, believe me, it will go very far because people will watch it. Very people will watch it, they will follow it up. Yes. And I also pray that evil eyes will not see you and your family, and the same with me. And I pray God will protect us in Dubai, because I have cried a lot, and I believe God will hear our cry one day.
We'll keep bringing it up as well, okay? Because it's one of the news that I'm actually really looking forward to be real. See, among other things, right? See, when they say...
My children...
Yeah, go on, sorry.
My children, my daughter has come of age. That's why I refused to tell you my name. It was intentionally, because my children have come of age.
Let's keep it that way. You see, there's one prayer that I always have, right? There's one news that I always want to see that it is true. And it is the news of if these guys, right, will eventually clear the backlog they are hiding away from or hiding from. And then the news says, finally, they have cleared the issue of UAE and Nigeria, because it is beyond just people saying they are going on holiday in Dubai. People's lives have been put on hold by Bukhari's fraud for more than 3 years.
Bukhari go pay Nigeria. They abandoned Nigeria. Nigeria living in Dubai now, just like IDC.
When I read it anywhere that the Dubai this thing is resolved, it's beyond just the news, because it is deeper. People's lives, people's livelihood, people's, you know what I mean? They've put them on hold for years now. So I know about it, Baba. And I really hope
thank you so much.
That will pop up.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
God bless you.
God will make a way.
Because there's some things that we cannot actually really, when you know that there's nothing you can really do except at a point where you say, okay, can we actually give support to this family? How can we support you in this way or that way? Sure, you get now. That's the kind of thing that is really a time that we can do from this platform. Sure, you get.
I think my children, I have to pull out of school. My daughter, my son.
I can only imagine, Baba. Sure, you get now. If you are in a place where you are a target, not that you don't have, not only that you don't have papers that is officially not going to be approved. The fact that you can't walk in a place and you have to I actually have an idea what it means. So I can only imagine it.
With family, you can imagine. It's too much, but God is my strength here.
And
God will make a way for us.
Keep being strong, okay? We will talk
And
more. Share you guys when we think that,
Yeah, I will keep on following you. I keep on watching your program. Whenever I have my chance to call, I will call you.
God bless
so
you,
we can
man.
speak.
God bless you. You have a good one.
Send my regards to your wife.
And yours too, man.
Thank you so much.
Too. Bless you. You see, that's what we can do. There are people who are in some areas where the Nigeria's dysfunctional system still affects them, even when they have left, thousands of miles away from Nigeria. The Nigeria's, corruption and all of that still touches them in far away. They did nothing wrong. Your country, you had a business with all this airline. You didn't allow them to take their money. You have their money trapped in your banks, and yet you won't give them their money. So the people who are there, who are likely living in the UAE legitimately with their normal UAE visa and all of that, they are now those who are paying the supreme price, because your country won't let the money of the businesses from Dubai or from UAE to take their money back to their country for years now. That caused the stagnation of the lives of the people who have no business with Nigeria, other than that's a green passport. So I can only imagine what it is like. So again, there's also little we can do when you know what is the cause and where this is coming from. The solution is very simple. Pay them their money and they will lift the visa ban. And everybody who is working in Dubai or living there, they can have their life back. It's as simple as that. But they won't. Sorry for keeping you waiting, okay? Hello there.
Hello, Mayokun. Good morning. This is Festus Oshifeso.
Say that again, sorry.
This is Festus Oshifeso calling.
Sir Festus Oshifeso. Oh, Baba, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I just want to say a big thank you for reading the book Why We Stuck and FRLS people. What is interesting is my grandma's house in Lagos, we had a tenant. It was actually the author of the book Why We Stuck. So ever since I was young, I've been following Nigeria's history. And I have a quick question to ask.
He once lived in your mom's house, right, in Lagos?
Yeah. I grew up having my grandpa telling us histories about Nigeria and right. The author, we call him Mr. Daddy Onyekon. Oh. He had a daughter then. Yeah, he's deceased now, but we knew about the stories of the coup and all that, which is interesting to me.
It's mostly like right now for you, Baba. When I was reading that, it's more kind of you have more connection to it than some of us can even relate to it, right? Because you can easily say, "Oh, Daddy, you're calling," right?
Yeah, I'll say so. Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll say so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't live in Nigeria anymore. I'm currently in the US, but it hurts when sometimes we go back home for Christmas, and my cousins are not home. Christmas or New Year's, many are working 12-hour shift to the UK, which is terrible. Normally, we all have like family time together with grandparents, but that doesn't happen anymore, which is tragic. But the question I have concerning the reading, are you going to be reading one after the other, or you want to finish one book before the other one?
Well, we were supposed to be mixing them so that, we could make sure that we end them all, both of them together. But it seems that everybody is voting for, no, finish this. No, finish this. We'll continue that one later.
Yeah. So I've read both books, and I find FRLS people a lot more comprehensive and explosive. When you want to talk about the Yoruba-Igbo rivalry, it says a lot about that in the FRLS people, and it's very interesting, but I'm down to follow along with whatever it is that you choose to do.
There you go. So the plan is that we can wrap this up maybe in another 2 days, right? We could finish with Why We Stuck. Go on, sorry.
Will you start all over again from the FRLS people? Because you actually started quite well with that one, from the history of colonization and whatnot. So I'm just wondering how you go about that.
And just because we haven't really gone too deep, we probably, let me see that again, where we were. Yeah, you remember we have finished the part of the colonization of Yoruba land, okay? So we're about to start that part of the colonization of Niger Delta and move it on from there. I don't think we've gone too far. Not, I mean, you know, so we could possibly just continue from there, right? But again, if I have to put that to a vote, okay, I mean, I've read about 80 pages already, okay? So if we feel like, you know, well, no, in order for it to, you know, then we can start from the start. Or don't let me promise that.
Okay.
You know why I'm saying that?
And another
you know why I'm actually trying not to be, I mean, why I'm not too sure what to say is that since we've already read this part and it's already out there, it's recorded, you know what I mean? Like, just like this one, okay?
Yeah.
It is already published, and whoever wants to kind of catch up can actually catch up. I've cut them into smaller parts as well, and I've actually relisted them. So I don't think we will start from the beginning on that fatherless people. We'll just continue.
Okay.
Okay. But we will make sure that we finish this first. Sorry, Baba.
Two things to say. I wanted to correct you on something you said about what Nigeria also has been named instead of Nigeria. The guy that created the Royal Nigeria Company, George Todban Goldie. Nigeria would have been named Goldisia, not Goldies like you mentioned.
You know, I was just like, you know me now, you know me. I got to that, you finish it, right? I got to that part and I was like, okay, right. Instead of Nigerians, will be called the Goldians. But what did you say it will be called again, sir?
Goldisia, just like Rhodesia. Goldisia, yeah.
Okay.
And I also followed the author, Adewale, on Twitter. And the last time I sent a message, I was like, hey, I actually, recommended this book for a YouTuber, Ademoyega, to read. And along the line, I was like, it would actually be nice if you can come on to Ademoyega's show and, talk about, some things, because I've been following Adewale for quite a while. Yeah. And he has a YouTube channel where he says some things about like Nigeria. And one that was quite interesting was how he said there was a British guy called Howard Smith. He was brought in by the last Governor General, I think Richardson, to basically rig the election of 1959 or 1960, with the first election. So Adewale has quite a few interesting videos on his YouTube video, but I told him like, hey, it would be nice to come on my own show and speak your mind about and he was like, yeah, sure, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And what did he say?
But he said it will be down. He said it will be down. See? I actually sent a screenshot of you and reading the book on his Twitter, on his message on Twitter. Right. And it was like, wow, that's interesting. But I want to say thank you very much again for the work that you're doing. Not just reading the book, but day in, day out, putting in so much work, effort, energy in educating us Nigerians about the situation of our country. I'm also from Ijebu, by the way, even though I've never been there, but I appreciate the work that you're doing.
What part of Ijebu?
Ijebu, Abigi.
Oh, Abigi, Waterside, all those area.
Yeah, Waterside, yeah. The story apparently was 3 brothers left Ile-Ife, and one settled in Ijebu Ode, and our one side settled in Ijebu Waterside. Yeah.
But there's a part of our history that actually said that too. And you are somebody I believe is doing enough to know more about all these things, because you actually recommended this indeed. I remember very well. You did. Say, man, you're going to get that.
I'm well read in. I really like history. And I guess I was one of those unfortunate folks that's been so whitewashed and brainwashed. But I love history. So when I started to read so much of like European and American history, I now started to see, these people are not heroes. They are they're actually different from being heroes.
I know.
And when you start to see what they've done to our nations and what our leaders who are quite blind, deaf, and dumb, then you start to really wonder why, or what change could there be. I don't think Nigeria is going to change in our lifetime, because Nigeria is working the way Britain created it to be. We are still a British colony. So,
well, there's something I'm also learning, right? There's something I'm also learning from learning, which is why you see this is why we struck, and the use the use of word, or let me say the word used in there, right? They are like some a dosage of revolution or something in them. Okay, They're like words of possibility. That if you have that mind, somebody like yourself now who believes that something needed to be done, things are wrong and all that. There are people who don't understand this whole thing at all. Their own is just to wake up normally and just do what they say they should do, and they just go about life like that. They have no clue, no idea, and they have no attempt to. But there are some of us who have these curious minds, and because you have curious mind, I have curious mind, I want to know more, and the more I know, possibly the more angry I become of why is this or that. Now, what this kind of things does, or exposes like this does, is that there are some people that we are already indoctrinating by what we are doing. Do you get that now?
Yeah.
So our lifetime may not see the total change that we really want it to be, but there is a possibility that even in our lifetime, we are going to see the kickoff of what we want to see happen, even if we are not going to be here when they happen. So we hold this coming generation a lot, okay? Especially to try to get as many of them as possible to be politically conscious, have revolutionary mind, recommend books for them. Some will watch this broadcast and they will just go and buy the book. Some will be here, young people, right? They will listen to some of the stuff here, they will go and do more researches. And in the process, they are becoming more aware and aware. So if we have enough aware generation who are not educated in that way, okay, like well informed, there's an advantage in that, Baba. There is, and that's why I don't want to rule it out completely. So let's keep trying.
I would hope so, but the role religion is playing, it's detrimental. I don't know how
Baba. You know something I discovered? I discovered that two things are so important if we want all we are doing to actually, sort of make impacts. All right, two things will happen. It is either after identifying all the problems, all the players and the rest of them, there are some certain things that we would have to do them ourselves. For example, if I am convinced that none of this that we are doing would ever be achieved without us having access to power, without power, and then using that to actually really drive that your ideology, right? Some of us then would have to actually volunteer ourselves, push ourselves forward, than wait for some people to do some certain things, okay? And then we could face the entire system. If not fight, we'll fight. Sure, you get. Yeah, you will really have the face. You have the face of, you know what? This is what we are fighting for now. We want to get rid of all of the political, for example, all the political criminals in Yoruba land. And when I was reading that Fatherless People, right, when they talk about, when he wrote, he wrote about how they captured Yoruba land, like colonization of Yoruba land. But he did say, there's a discovery there about the role the traditional rulers were also playing, okay? I think I also felt that in this, Why We Struck as well. Twice now in these two books, they've written about how the traditional institutions of Yoruba land, for example, compromise, how it all happened, how they became part and parcel. When the colonialists were there, they are with them. When they say neo-colonialists, our own people were there, they are with them. So until we have a group of people that knows that if we want to really get things done, then we have to get rid of these guys. And I say get rid of them.
And one other thing you should...
go on.
One other thing people should understand is for wherever it is that we're fighting for, if Yorubas and Igbos keep on hating each other, nothing is going to be done.
Nothing is going to happen.
Absolutely nothing will be done. I did school. I left Nigeria up until SS2 before I moved to the US. And for the most part, primary school, secondary school, I had classmates who were Igbos, Edos, Yorubas, and I couldn't really make any distinction because the area of Lagos I grew up at, even in the US, you go to anywhere in the US in school, if your classmate is Emeka or wherever, you guys are Nigerian, you help each other out. But I don't see Hausa, I don't see Fulanis here. So I have a lot in common with Igbos until I started to read so much about like the history. And I think the history has always been the first was like an Igbo. But when you now read so much more, you become more enlightened. It was like a class struggle, educated soldiers who have revolutionary attitude to change the course of the country. That was what happened. It's terrible what's going on now.
It's really bad that they actually miss. You know what I mean? Like, these guys felt like, but I'll put it this way, right? I am somebody who believes that if I have all the tools needed, right? Like all I need to possibly change that system. For example, get rid of I'm just saying it in a broader context now, okay? Let's say I have that and I'm a young person, not too young anyway. So I'm a young person, I'm like, I've got all I need. I've got all the men and the rest, right? I could move in and begin to pick each of them, just like these guys also felt, because the only difference between us and Nzeogu right now and their guys, right, is that we are here sad and unhappy that these rogues have bastardized the system and they have actually like impoverished the people and make it worse, okay? We are here. That's exactly what they felt too. But what they did different was that they knew what they wanted and they knew what to remove. Like, this is out of the way, right? Then things can continue in the right formation. So the only difference between them and us is that we must go beyond talking. We must go into acting. And we are going into that state of acting soon.
How do we act when most of the educated Nigerians are fleeing, jackpine out of Nigeria to greener pastures, so they say? And we're now left with the likes of, in future, MC Olomos to be leaders of the country. How would they negotiate on behalf of Nigerians and the country against the colonialists who are still there? But I don't want to take too much of your time. I'll be calling a little bit more. And thank you so much. And hopefully we'll try to get Dele Ogun
onto your show. Create a space and all of that. And then we kind of have that chat here. It will be so wonderful for somebody like that. I can only just imagine the level of research that he put into that work there. So you can.
He did so much research. The research he did wasn't from what happened. He did research based off of those that created Nigeria, everything in archives, the letters are sent amongst themselves. He read their autobiographies. So the real intention, it wasn't just Nugat or those in the colonial office in Whitehall in London. It was their masterminded work that he did research on. I think it took him about 25 years to write that book, and I found it very explosive. It's got a lot of similarities with why we talk.
No joke.
Yeah.
Like he just went to he went to the basic, right? Dug everything he could see and dug that out. I refine that and check what they are and they are, and then it's like me reading from the ancient time until I have to remind myself, I'm like, this whole thing is like 200 years ago. This is just like 200 years ago. Why is it sounding like it's, and people they write? See, Baba, of course, it will be an honor to have somebody like that with us here, and we would have to prepare for that, right? So that we are not
thank you very much.
To him, right?
Yeah, thank you very much, and keep up your good work.
God bless you. Bye. Take it easy, okay? Nice one, eh? So that's a good one. We have just been told that we might be honored to have the author of A Fatherless People, Dele Ogun, with us. He's on YouTube. I mean, I'm going to go check out this page and possibly take my time to listen to some of them too. Sure you get? Because like, if I am so vast, so deep, so far read, research here and there, to the point that I could write a book like that, I would be like a walking encyclopedia, Wikipedia encyclopedia. So I'm going to call it an afternoon. I will see us some other time, which is going to be later this evening, possibly. And thank you so much for spending your morning and afternoon with me again. It's been a pleasure. I'll take a break and I will see you later. Good afternoon.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun nàmbà wá. Mayegun làwa dòdò.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Mayegun diary diary politico.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Prẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Ayé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣeré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ̀rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Mayegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lérí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀.